All right, and welcome one and all to Foxborough High School, the Sam Burns Community Field. I am here with Mike McCabe. My name is Mark Davis. We are here for the first round of the Division II South Sectional Finals, where we have the number 4 Foxborough Warriors taking on the number 13 Medfield Warriors. Mike, this is going to be a great game today, despite the lousy conditions that we have. It's raining pretty good here. Field is pretty wet. But, we had a game with Medfield early this year. It was a 2-2 draw. Medfield took a 2-0 lead. Foxborough, fought back to tie the game to 2. So I think we're going to get the same type of atmosphere and game today.
Absolutely, Mark. The first meetup of these teams was a great match. It was kind of a stalemate toward the end, and then it ended up a tie, as you said. There was a 2-0 lead, and then they came back with the two goals unanswered and tied the game up. Probably one of Foxborough's toughest games of the year. So looking forward to another matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You sit there in the first round and you think you want to have maybe a little bit of an easier matchup. These two teams are very familiar with each other. They played last year in the first round, so I think the MIAA likes to see good competition, obviously, and putting these two together last year. Foxborough was on the good side last year as they beat Medfield 1-0. They had gone on after that game to play Notre Dame Academy, lost in the quarterfinals 2-1. So, Medfield knows what we like to do. We know what Medfield likes to do. So I think it's going to be a real tight game, and I think one of the keys, in my opinion, is going to be that first goal, especially on a rainy day like today.
I think another thing, too, Mark, and the difference from the first matchup is there's been a couple changes in the lineups. Kendra Wentling's moved to the outside, and she seems to push more on offense. And then Lizzie Davis has been put up on front at different times as well. So Foxborough has changed it up a bit, and they actually kind of balanced out their scoring a little more. Jordan Collins and Kaylee McCabe are the leading scorers right now, but Lizzie Davis and Kendra Wentling have kind of come on strong right behind them, so it's better to have a balanced attack like that. So hopefully that'll be a factor today.
Yep, and as you mentioned, some of those scores. Jordan Collins was third in the Hockomock League this year with 25 points, 22 goals, 3 assists, while your daughter Kaylee was fifth in scoring, 22 points, 17 goals, and 5 assists. So definitely have the offensive firepower going. But I think early on it might be a pretty defensive battle. Good to see. I'm sorry, Mike, but good to see. Looks like I could be wrong, but is Caroline Cass is back in the game?
No, she's not.
She's not.
Bridget McGee is taking over. Caroline Cass, unfortunately, suffered a concussion a little while back, and they called her out her number, announced her. I thought she'd be playing as well, but I don't know if they're playing it cautious or if she's able to play today or not, Mark. We'll see if we can find out about that.
Yeah, I think especially on a rainy day like today, Medfield coming down to the left-hand side.
And if you see, this is where it can hurt sometimes, where Caroline has played all season at that outside wing. Right now they had 2 open Medfield players on the right there. So if there was a cross ball, there could have been some trouble.
Looks like Medfield has the ball. It's going to be a corner kick. So in these wet conditions, this is where it gets a little hairy here because the ball skips a little bit on that wet turf. So Medfield with the big kick right into the middle, looking for a header. Gets all the way through.
Clears the ball, and it's
looks like kicked
Kendra
out.
Wentling coming across and clearing the ball out of bounds for a Medfield possession, coming back in.
So Medfield with a good throw in. Yara picks it up.
Medfield looking very aggressive here. Their last game they stacked their defense a little heavy. This time they're really pushing up. They only have 2 defenders back, Mark. They're going for that score.
Yeah.
I think to your point earlier, the first score could be important, and they seem to think as well. They've got their whole team up front toward the goal, and they get the first shot off of the game, saved by Morgan Sylvester.
Yeah, Morgan's going to have to come up big again with those wet conditions. She's got those fly trap gloves, those hands of steel. She's done a great job this year. So has Jamie DeVella. So we've got a good 1-2 tandem in net.
So we got a ball just past Medfield's defense. Jordan, who's known for her speed, gets to the ball, but it looks like the Medfield defender tripped up and fell. Ball went out of bounds.
Yeah,
possession.
Good thing that they didn't call that. I thought maybe they might have called that on Jordan. But, she was trying to get to the ball, and I think the Medfield defender just fell. Jordan looks trying to figure out what happened there.
Yeah, she doesn't.
But we can't be flat-footed either.
No, you're right. That ball has to keep moving. It needs to be a possession game. Foxborough, the last few games, has done a better job of passing and setting up the shot, where a lot of times it's been kick and run, where with our speed we're able to get behind the other team's defense.
Yeah, and ball out on Medfield. That's a good point, Mike. Yeah, Jordan with that speed, Kaylee with that speed up front. It is going to be a possession game here. I think that, the best game that I saw them play, one of the best games anyway, was when they played against Milford. They were doing their pinpoint passing, tic-tac-toe passing, and once they do that, you get a lot of opportunities to score. So Liz is trying to make a run here, takes a shot.
Front. Was able to just get her toe on it, not toward the goal, but unfortunately wasn't able to get. It was on the bounce. So it's interesting, Mark. I see a switch. So Kaylee McCabe had started up on forward with Jordan Collins, and now it looks like Lizzie Davis is up there, and Kaylee is transitioning side to side with Caitlin Malik. I don't know if that's by design or just the way the ball's been moving.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see as the game moves along.
It originally looked like they were lining up as a 4-4-2, and now it seems to be a 4-3-3. So I don't know if that's by design or just kind of where they've, as they're playing against this team and they're setting up.
Yeah, like
balanced game so far, though. The ball's been up and down the field a bit here. Spending a little more time in Foxborough's end, but no team seems to have a clear advantage yet.
No, you're right. Medfield is definitely being the aggressor here. They're really attacking. And yeah, as you said, they've moved a lot of their girls up. That's a good job by Lizzie Davis. A little too far. See, that's the thing. The ball's going to skip a little bit on this wet surface.
You really need to get that backspin on the ball to keep it in front of you. That's getting the toe underneath. And that's where a lot of the skill comes in. Now, here's Jordan. Ball gets to the goalie, and goalie. Now, there's right there, Mark. That's where it's going to be a tough game. The goalie just tried to kick the ball, a one-timer. Ball's got a lot of spin, and it's wet, and the ball actually started to spin back toward her. So that's something these teams have to be careful of.
So Kaylee McCabe gets the ball and throws it into the middle. Beautiful pass across to Kendra. There goes Jordan trying to capture it.
It looked like Kendra was kind of her body was moving the other way, just was on the outside. Looked like it was a good through pass, but it just happened. Just timing was off.
There's a ball. Who's
Grace Ferguson up the middle. So Emma Dahl's playing back with Yara Fawaz. Grace Ferguson has had a fantastic season quietly. I know she's not getting the goals because she's played a lot of defense, and then she'll move to center mid, but she is one of the most reliable players on this team, Mark. She very rarely makes a mistake, knows where the ball is, sees the field well, and she's a great complementary player in there, especially in that middle of the field, whether it's defense or midi, because that's extremely important.
Yeah, that's a valuable position, and she's done, like you said, Mike, she's done a fantastic job all year long. So Medfield with the throw-in. Throws it, doesn't get it inbound, so back to Foxborough. Foxborough looking to throw it into the middle of the field. Caitlin Malika gets the ball, but skips on her a little bit. Back to Grace. And Kendra taking the ball up the right-hand side, trying to get it to Jordan, but the defense is there.
And to your point earlier, Mark, I think the key is going to be which team can really get control of this wet ball and get a feel for it. And it seems like both teams right now are struggling with that.
Yeah.
It's sliding off their foot. They're not getting like solid passes out, but each team's these are both fast and aggressive teams. So it'll be an interesting match the whole way. So here we go. Out to Jordan
with
Collins.
the ball.
Jordan clears
there
the ball up.
Kaylee down left
McCabe
side.
on a sprint. She's got the sprint, but it looks like the Medfield defender got there just in time. Caitlin Malika with the throw-in. Caitlin Malika is one of the best, in my opinion, at the throw-in. She gets it, doesn't let the other team set up, and puts that ball right back into play.
It'll be interesting to see that. Looks is
Go
that
for
a
corner. It's a corner kick. Corner kick for Foxborough. Now, Foxborough's had a lot of corner kicks. We talked about this last game, Mark, on senior night. Because of their offense, it generates a lot of corner kicks. They've started to capitalize more the second half of the season. They struggled the first half, so let's see what happens with Caitlin Malika, who has great placement with this ball. Drops it right out in front. Foxborough charging, and it looks like it's going to be back out to Caitlin. It was rebounded. She puts it back in front of the net. Medfield's able to clear it out. Foxborough gets possession at the 20. Back and forth possession. Emma Dahl keeps the ball forward with the head ball.
Yeah.
Seem to be getting caught out of position on that far side of the field. A couple times the ball's going over and it's all white shirts. So hopefully that's something that.
Yeah, hopefully the coach will see that and have the girls, as we said a lot of times during the year, change the field. So Jordan takes it out to the middle, tries to get it to Lizzie.
Ball to Lizzie Davis.
Out front,
Lizzie's
getting blocked off.
Ball was just ahead of Lizzie Davis. Wasn't able to get to it. Goalie got to it first. There's a little contact between Lizzie Davis and the Medfield defender.
Yeah, the defender's holding her hands up like Liz did something wrong, but the Medfield defender was definitely blocking her.
They were both going, in my opinion, for a loose ball there. So I didn't notice anything that was egregious.
I think Medfield may want to do that early on.
There's another one-timer, Mark, that spun off the girl's foot. It's just one of those things. They're not going to have that today unless this, even with the rain slows down. So you're still going to have a wet surface, and these girls are trying to one-time the ball, and it is spinning off of their feet.
It'll be interesting to see, and this is just a point for maybe later in the game, but Medfield, if they're going to complain about calls early, maybe they're going to get one later on in the game. And a lot of times that's what teams will do. They'll try to complain just to get in the ref's ear. Yara Fawaz gets over on the defensive side. Over to Caitlin Mollica. Caitlin looking to get it out of there, and she does. Over to Caitlin McCabe. Medfield stepping up on defense, though.
Caitlin McCabe's able to retain possession, pushing to the middle of the field.
Keeps going.
She has 3 blue shirts up to looking nice through ball. Kendra looking to get back to Jordan. And Medfield's able to come up with the tight defense on it. Great play.
Caitlin Mollica with a good play.
That was actually Bridget McGee coming up. Bridget. Yeah, no, it looks like it's a number.
Kendra gets the ball, gets held. Lizzie tries to get in there on the inside, can't get to it.
Medfield's able to clear it as Foxborough keeps it forward, so it's at midfield. Emma Dahl's chasing the ball down, able to get to it ahead of the Medfield players. See, this time we had blue shirts on that far side, Mark, so it was able to keep the ball going forward. We're not out of bounds, but it's Foxborough's ball. That's going to be a key, is keeping the field spread today. I think with the weather and the way the ball is, going to play position and maintain control and possession of the ball. So I'd like to see a little more touches on the ball, like stop, settle the ball, especially in this wet weather. I think it's just too erratic. They're
gonna go running down the right side.
Looks like the ball's too far ahead, but she's getting to it. It's a foot race between Bridget McGee on the outside with Yara Fawaz covering in the back.
No, that should be Foxborough ball. Good call by the ref there. The Medfield girl, I think, tried to sell it that it was off Foxborough, but the ref was right on top of that one. You don't hear me saying that too often, Mike.
But you know what? It's always they should always act like it's your ball and let the ref make the call.
Exactly. So Caitlin
might win one of them here or there. So Caitlin McCabe to Lizzie Davis, a little too much on the ball, just ahead of Jordan Collins. Right idea. Looks like Foxborough starting to settle down, Mark. They're starting to get the multiple touches. They're keep retaining possession and give and goes.
Try to get those initial nerves out of the way. Kaylee with a nice job with the ball there.
Medfield came out with quite a pace, and they seem to be keeping it up, but they're looking a little tired in the middle of the field. So let's see if they're able to maintain. They definitely have a strong team, and they were able to play right to the end last game.
Yep. Yeah, and they're doing a good job. They are definitely looking to change location of the field.
So push to the middle, Kaylee McCabe.
Nice move. Takes the left-handed. Oh, good shot.
Great shot. Great attempt.
Nice save by the goalie.
Nice save by the goalie. Right in that lower corner, Mark. That's it's not an easy save, especially with this ball was wet. She did bob a little bit, but maintained her possession.
That's the thing. I think if you can get a low shot, that ball's going to skip, and sometimes it catches the goalies unaware. So Yara's got to get back. The Medfield defender coming in on Yara.
This Medfield girl is very fast. She's coming up, and Yara is one of the fastest on the team.
Here's the replay.
Able to match. Let's see it coming up. So here's Kaylee McCabe. Pulls back the ball. Great move. Great control, especially in this wet weather. Great strike. That's a credit to the goalie right there. So excellent save. Kendra trying to bring the ball up the right. And it looks like it's going to be Medfield ball coming in and a throw-in.
So, yeah, they're good. So Medfield has everybody up. They get two girls back, actually 3.
Which is pretty. It's an interesting line of Foxborough is what we've seen, Mark. They play heavy on the defense because of this offense Foxborough brings. You tend to see 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8 girls back. This Medfield team is playing very aggressive. They're actually keeping 2 back but it's staggered. So they'll have a defender at the 50 and another one at the 40. And then push their whole team up, and they're getting in the end there. They're not getting the shot off, but they're definitely getting down to the 10.
So it looks like with just under 28 minutes to go in the half, looks like Medfield called a timeout, which makes sense. They're doing a corner kick right now. He's probably trying to set up a play, trying to make sure that we'll see if they come out, try to box the goal to get someone up, tall in the middle, try to get that ball, as a header, and see the coach probably knows, like we said, that first goal is important. He probably wants to take the time right now, try to figure out a good play.
I also think, Mark, it looked to me like some of the Medfield girls were getting a little frustrated in the middle. I think it's smart on the coaches to kind of get them, settle them down. There's still a lot of time left in this half. And make sure they're not getting frustrated this early on in the game, because it's a big deal. Because you have to keep your head in the game the whole game and not allow yourself frustration.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. I'd love to have a mic in there to see what Coach Katie's saying to the girls right now. Probably just telling them, hey, keep the pace up, keep going, keep attacking. You're getting them a little bit tired. Let's get the ball, let's get the passes, get them into the middle, and then generate a couple more shots.
As you said, we're coming out to a Medfield corner kick. And let's see how they come out. The strategically timed timeout called here to set up for it. So they're shielding the goalie and nobody on the posts. Ball's right in the middle.
Morgan Sylvester did a great job of coming up and getting her hands on that ball. Jordan Collins getting out there now, trying to get back in defense.
Great job by the Medfield player to get the ball back to their own defender and brought back up. Another clear through ball.
Oh, dangerous. Morgan with a great, what dangerous pass, though, going up high, but.
That was I think what happened there looked like Megan Burke thought Morgan was coming out quicker, and that Medfield player had great speed on that outside. And then Morgan did come out, but she slid under the ball.
And the ball bounced out, so another Medfield, it went right back to a Medfield player. Good kick, just a little bit high, went over the crossbar.
One thing about Foxborough with their defense, it's a great complementary defense. So when that happens, Yara Fawaz was right there. Emma Dahl was already on the move coming back, and Bridget was covering. And that's their defense is one of the tougher positions, because if you are out of position or something happens, it's far more obvious than, say, on a midi position or a forward. And so this defense they don't get frustrated with each other. They just play and they cover each other. And it's been definitely one of the strengths of this team all year. So the ball's being pushed up. Lizzie Davis has it in the middle of the field, trying to get a through ball. Looking for Kaylee McCabe. Looks like he took a hot pass. Grace Ferguson has the ball. Foxborough pushing.
Medfield gets back on defense. Good job defensively.
It's going to be a Foxborough throw in on the far side. See, now I'd like to see them spread a little further to the left, say Caitlin Mollica, where there's so much open field there. The ball pushes out. You have a little run to the goal. Here we go. Kaylee McCabe to Caitlin Mollica. Caitlin Mollica pushing the ball back to the middle. Looks like the rain's starting to slow down a little here, Mark, so that's going to could change the pace of the game a little bit. It is supposed to stop. Kendra Wentling pushing the ball upfield, out of bounds. Medfield ball coming back in. Medfield throw in. Solid throw in. Looks like Grace Ferguson fighting for the ball in the middle of the field. Gets it back up the right-hand side to Lizzie Davis. Lizzie pushing the ball back to the middle.
Yeah, Medfield's doing a good job of, even when they get the defenders on the outside, they've got one or two girls in the middle. So even when we're trying to get the ball into the middle, it's kind of tough because they've got the defenders right there to clear out the ball. So now Medfield looking like they get 4 or 5 girls back.
Medfield settled right back into their positions once the goalie retained possession for the kickout. Kayla Mollica pushing through, fighting off a Medfield defender, pushing up. Looks like an offsides call.
They got about 25 minutes left here in the first half. Still 0-0.
Must have been Jordan Collins. I couldn't tell who was off, but the ref was right there by Jordan Collins, so she must have been the player who was off. It hasn't happened much this season, though. I will say that Foxborough has managed to be very careful out here. Medfield pushing down, beat Bridget McGee, the defender, on the outside. And again, Emma Dahl's there to cover up. Medfield, and ball's out on Medfield.
Medfield, if you really look here, you can really see the triangles. Ooh,
take that back. They're calling that as out on Foxborough.
Oh, I'm surprised. That's not a good call.
Yeah,
there.
I think he was shielded. The ref was shielded from it, so it probably looked like it went off to Foxborough. Again, that's why you go and you act like it's your possession, right?
Exactly. So Jordan Collins gets the ball.
Jordan Collins in the middle, pushing up.
A little too far, but keeps moving. Liz trying to stay on.
Liz Davis staying up the middle. Kendra Wentling crossing into the middle.
Kaylee
McCabe on the backup. And I don't know if that was a shot or trying to clear it to the middle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Went to far right of the goal.
I was surprised Jordan was going that wide on that one. I thought that she would have tried to stay within the hash. And as Lizzie was running down the middle. but she went wide.
One of the things with Jordan this year, a good amount of her goals have come beating the girls on the outside. It's been one of her strengths because of her speed. So maybe, maybe that was the idea. But this Medfield team definitely has the speed to match. So.
And they've done their homework because they've played us once this year. They played last year, so they know that who the girls are that can beat them offensively.
And that's so Medfield has I believe it was 25 goals on the season. Over 18 games, and they had no one on the leaderboard, which told me that it's spread out. So this is a balanced team, this Medfield team. You don't see too many weak, like when you say weak spots, it doesn't seem there's any field advantage. So it seems like it's a good matchup in terms of that. So that means my point is the defense doesn't really know who to cover.
Right. Well, you can really see Medfield is really spacing very, very well here. They've got, like I said, they've got the triangles and the diamonds here, and the girls are doing a really good job with their spacing. So ball coming over, Caitlin Malika onto it. Actually, no, it was McGee again to Malika.
Bridget McGee. Yes, it's the 6 and the 9 number, but they look similar. We go to the middle, and
Medfield does a good job again in the middle, just closing in. And now there's a lot of space.
There's a big space in the middle on Foxborough's end, so Medfield actually is control, being smart, not over-aggressive, and ball comes out to Morgan Sylvester for an easy save. So to your point, Mark, they do spread the field very well. And it seems that at times Foxborough is bunching up in the middle, where we just saw right there that there was a wide open gap in the middle of the field, and Foxborough needs to account for that.
It should be Foxborough ball. That went off of a Medfield girl, but I don't think the ref saw that.
The ref is in the far end. I'm not sure if he saw.
He probably did.
No, they're calling let's see what they're calling a goal kick here.
And it definitely looked like it went off one of the Medfield girls' feet. Looks like it went off of Zoe Condon. Number 14. So 21 and a half minutes left here in the first half. 0-0. Liz gets the ball, takes a shot, and it's a little high. A good job by Liz Davis there to kind of get that ball, get some control. See what she was doing. It's trying to go top shelf. Just a little too much leg on it. Looks like Kendra's coming out. Ashlyn Cervais coming in for Foxborough. So here's the play again on the replay. So Liz beats the defender. Here's a little shove. Sees an opening.
That was great. Way to set the ball up to her right foot for a nice punch. That was close.
Just a little too much. I think like you said before earlier this year, she kind of leaned back a little bit. If she stayed over the ball, not going to get as much arc. But it was a good, strong shot. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, Lizzie Davis has such a strong foot, and she just has a tendency to lean back in her kicks and gets a lot of air, which is great shooting from outside, where she's able to reach from quite a distance. But inside, she's just get over a little bit. Which I feel like she has the last handful of games, Mark, and you can see her scoring has gone up. And you've noticed some of her. She takes a lot of the indirect kicks and direct kicks, and you've noticed they're coming in a lot more on trajectory rather than flying too high on the shots. Medfield, another attack by Medfield, and Morgan Sylvester with the save.
Looked like it deflected off of Yara, the back of her head. Morgan came out to make the save. Ball over to Liz, tries to get it over to Jordan.
Foxborough looks a little spread out right now, Mark. They seem to be on their toes a little more the last handful of minutes here. Not sure why. If it's from Medfield's timeout and whatever the adjustment they made, or just kind of the way the game happens to be moving right now. So a little discrepancy on the throw, and it is Medfield's throwing.
Yeah, you can definitely see the spacing is very good for Medfield. Looking to throw it. Yara steps up, makes a great defensive play there, because if that girl got by Yara, she was going in alone on Morgan. Kayla Malika trying to gets it to Kaylee. Kaylee hits it up front, trying to get it over to Jordan.
And we go to Jordan.
Jordan gets it.
Tough hop for the Medfield player, and Jordan capitalizes, pushing up the right-hand side.
Oh, and Jordan gets taken down, and there's no call.
I don't know. It looked like they just banged into each other. It didn't look like the hands went up or anything on the Medfield player. So, and then same thing on the other side, and then the call.
Oh man, I'll tell you.
So. Let's see this again. Let's see. Jordan's coming up. No, Jordan stretched her leg there. It really didn't. It looked like it was unintentional. Jordan stretched her leg to kind of create separation, and they get tangled up.
Well, I mean, it is the playoffs, so you know that the refs are probably going to – that's going to skip. The refs are probably going to let them play a little bit tonight too. So
yeah, and they can't – these are the things, Mark. These are the things that the players can't worry about. They just have to play it as it goes. If they start focusing on what the refs, it's kind of becomes an excuse, and
exactly
their coaches just can't allow that. They need to focus on the game and not worry about what calls made, because the refs are not always going to make the right call. The game moves fast out there.
Right. The girls have to control with what they can control, and they can't control what the calls are going to be. So they just got to continue to play hard. But again, starting off early on, I was saying that this is going to be a very good matchup, despite the records. Sure.
No, and you're right. It is actually turning out to be quite a matchup. It's a good back and forth, and I'd say, well, it's very close. It seems to be Medfield seems to have be the aggressor just a bit.
Good header there.
Great header by Lizzie Davis.
Gets it over to Jordan Collins.
To Jordan Collins for a breakaway. Jordan can capitalize.
Jordan gets in there.
Break to the goal.
And gets the goal!
Fantastic
Oh, what a
shot.
beautiful play by Foxborough!
That was a great team effort there. Brought up the middle. Lizzie Davis ahead it to Kaylee McCabe with the pass up to Jordan Collins. Fantastic. So that's an assist by Lizzie and Kaylee for goal for Jordan Collins. That is a big deal, especially the way this game has gone. That's going to lift Foxborough a little bit, I think, Mark. They seem really fired up by that.
Here comes the
replay.
So Lizzie had
the header. They didn't show that, but over to Kaylee.
Kaylee,
with
beautiful
a nice
ball.
through ball to Jordan. Is able to control the ball, set up, stays nice and calm. See, that's the thing about those shots, Mark. It looks easy, but it is so hard to slow yourself down and not get too riled up to take that big kick.
Oh, here comes Yara.
Coming back, Yara's fighting the ball out.
Good job by Yara. Yeah, the thing about Jordan, too, right, on that one, she kicked it out in front of her. I thought because of the way that the ball skipped on that wet turf, I thought it was going to be a little too far. The goalie had to sit back because she didn't know what Jordan was going to do. And then Liz gets the ball.
Liz Davis, nice ball control, is pushing up.
Takes a shot from outside.
Cover. And see, Mark, to your point, it's a good shot from out there. If we had someone coming in, this ball is wet and it's skipping funny. And that goalie, well in the right position. The ball hopped up, got her in the chest, and she was able to keep it in front. But that's a great rebound opportunity.
Yes. So to finish that thought about Jordan, when she went in, the goalie had to hesitate for a second. And when she did, Jordan was able to kind of put the afterburners on. And it was a beautiful, soft, left-footed shot just inside the post. That's, to me, was more impressive.
Absolutely, and it's very difficult to do because, again, she knows she's got a defender coming behind, goalie in front, and the thought is just rip that shot off. But as we've seen in the past, it's how many shots have we seen go right into the hands of a goalie from a direct kick right at the goalie?
Was that number
2?
So
Yara looking to clear, and okay, it's going to be a Foxborough kick. The Medfield Medfield's forward got Yara's leg.
I don't think the Medfield parents appreciated that call,
but it was a correct call. She kicked into the leg, and you could see the ref right away saw it, and then he waited to see if Foxborough had advantage before calling it. And once it went out, so Yara's a little bit shaken up. It looks like she took a shot to the leg, but nice.
So Liz takes
clear ball.
Takes the ball.
Liz. Okay, then McCabe in the middle, pushing it up to Jordan. So it seems Medfield just has the field spread a little better today. They just seem to be spread out a little more, where Foxborough is bunching up at times, and they don't have those through balls, those through passes. So hopefully that's something they can make an adjustment on, Mark. But Foxborough they make up for it with just ability and grit. They've been a tough team all season, and I'm sure it's going to be no different the rest of this game.
Trying to get it through to Caitlin, that would have been a good ball. Yeah, Medfield does a good job, too, of getting to that ball. Like the 50-50 balls. Medfield girl slips down. Caitlin Malka trying to get there.
Great play by the Medfield player to keep that ball inbounds. And Caitlin Malka is not easy to beat like that. So that was a great play to stay on. Cannot
nice
play the
by
ball
Medfield.
off the. Yeah, there. It's correct call by the ref. You cannot play off the ground.
Medfield is doing. I gotta say, Mike, Medfield's doing a great job of controlling the ball and getting the attack. I mean, they're doing a good. But our defense is up for it right now, and they've been matching them for play by play. But that's something I think Coach Stahlcup will have to talk at halftime. He'd be like, "You girls got to be careful."
I think you hit it, Neil. This has been something all season that I've kind of. It's just an opinion thing, but it seems like we struggle with those 50-50 balls, Mark. It seems like the other team seems to.
They attack.
Have advantage. They get the 50-50. We win the 1v1s a lot, and that's what makes up for it. But
I think a lot of times what we do is we wait for the ball to come to us, and then the other girls kind of make that initial move to get either come around us or be a little bit more aggressive.
It's a reactive way to play, but it has worked for Foxborough. But it's when you see the goalie kicks, the punts, things like that, it seems like to your point, Foxborough kind of waits to see what happens, but they always seem to cover up on it.
Oh, Yara,
Medfield defender is able to push by Yara Fawaz. Bridget McGee has to get back. And soft shot, not quite. Wasn't able to quite get that shot off that Medfield player.
I think that was a rare. You don't see it too often with Yara, but I think she made the decision. She's like, I'm going to let that go out of bounds, and that wasn't going out of bounds. And Medfield, to their credit, they kept charging after that ball.
They did, and in this instance, it was what I talked about before, where they play complementary. There was no one there to back up Yara. Right. Bridget McGee was up too far and wasn't able to get back, and then Emma Dahl was covering the far side, and we just didn't have coverage. Thankfully, Yara's speed, she was able to challenge the Medfield player and really wasn't able to get a shot off. Medfield is still pushing. They've been in Foxborough's end, so another save by Morgan. Not really a shot.
I can't see.
Morgan was right
there. I think it's number 3. Shannon Burns, sophomore from Medfield. I think it's number 3.
You get the wrong guy if you think I can see a 3 from here, Mark.
Yeah.
Ball's going forward. Jordan Collins, again, trying to control the ball. Pushing up to Caitlin Mollica to the outside on the left. Caitlin coming around the corner. Control's going to look to put it up in the front. Great ball by Caitlin Mollica. Oh, tough to get her foot on it. She was able to set it to her right foot and just kind of hooked it. Again, it could be the conditions. It's definitely tough to kick, and Caitlin has such great control, and it's rare to see her top the ball like that.
Yeah, here's a replay.
You watch here. She hooks it and pulls it back for the setup to her right foot, which is a great play. And then she topped the ball. The ball is just wet, and it's tough to get a good solid contact on.
Yeah, had Grace in the middle, Liz far post. But I see what Caitlin was doing it because the goalie wasn't hugging the post. Caitlin was going short side, and she had it. And I think, like you said, Mike, if she didn't top it, she had that whole side, and I think she would have hit it.
I thought the one thing that looked like Caitlin was looking to set the ball with her left foot, but I don't think our forwards were there yet.
Yeah.
And she was going to drop it in the front, but realized nobody had set up yet.
Yeah, and I never have a problem with taking a shot on net either. I mean, that's exactly what
that was. Yeah, she was able to, and Caitlin certainly has a skill for that. So it's, and listen, it just happened. We just happened to not. That could be to Medfield's credit, and sometimes that does happen. So
good pass.
There we go, slowing it down, short, controlled passes. This is good to see. This is what Foxborough when they're in.
Kaylee, nice move.
Kaylee McCabe breaks away, and
nobody in
where's
front.
Where's the rebound?
Kendra's there.
Goalie stays with it. The ball is still loose. The Medfield goalie is having a tough time holding on to that ball, and she's down right now. The goalie is down. That's a scary thing with the goalies, Mark. If they're not able to get their hand right on the ball, that's a loose ball, and it's free out there. And even though the refs always protect the goalies, when that ball's bouncing like that, everybody wants it, and the goalie ends up on the ground, and they're kind of defenseless, and it's a little scary.
So Kaylee, with a beautiful move, comes in here, takes a low shot, again, skips, bouncing. Jordan and Kendra trying to get in there.
Charging in, and then Jordan goes for the kick. It looks like the ball was kicked right into the stomach, so probably just knocked the wind out of I don't know if she's holding her face. Maybe it hit her face. Tough to see from this angle, but it looked like Jordan was trying to shoot. Thankfully, it wasn't a direct, contact with the cleat.
Right.
But I'm sure that this doesn't feel any better for the goalie taking a soccer ball.
I think you're right. It looks like Jordan went. I think on the kick. I think when she kicked it. Here we go.
If you watched right here, Jordan has eyes on the ball, completely going for the ball. Credit to their goalie. Yes, it's just she takes the shot and it goes right to the goalie's face.
And that's got to hurt with Jordan kicking it short range.
That whole time, that goalie did not hesitate. You have to give her credit. She just kind of kept diving for the ball, did not back off, and ultimately saved the ball, saved the shot. That's a big
But as we've said
Big
today,
play.
Mike, right? It's like, Kaylee with a beautiful low shot, skipping. It's gonna be tough to corral that ball, and it's just a matter of when the other girls have to be there because it's going to be a simple tap-in.
I gotta say, the only thing, Mark, is Morgan Sylvester of Foxborough doesn't seem to be having the same problem.
Right, true.
So their goalie, I don't know if it's the gloves or what it is, but her hands are right on that ball, and that ball's popping out on her, and that could become costly for Medfield at some point. That is the Medfield goalie is on her feet, walking back to her bench. So hopefully,
you can see on the.
Hopefully she's just. Hopefully it's just a quick thing and she's okay.
Foxborough with 1-0 lead, 10 minutes left. You can see the rain coming down.
Pick back up for you. For sure.
It's really coming down hard again. It's going to be like this probably till about 5 o'clock, and then it's just going to be it'll be dry for the rest of the evening. So, Mike and I are okay because we're in the press box. We don't have to deal with this, which is good. But the girls are fighting through it. On both teams.
One of the many, many benefits of being an announcer, Mark.
Yeah.
Besides all the food and the beverages.
And where's the food and
beverage? And the heater.
I don't see any food and beverages. You got something that you want to share with us?
We don't even have seats yet. So.
Yeah. All right. So.
All right. Looks like let's see. They're putting in a backup goalie, and she's not. It does not look like she's a full time. She's putting on a penny, and you have to give a player credit anytime, especially if they're not a full time goalie, to come in and take on this responsibility, especially against an offense like Foxborough. So,
if I'm looking at the Medfield High roster, this could be Izzy Brown, who's a sophomore. I'm assuming that Mariana Cortes, who was the goalie senior. I could be wrong on that one, but it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, now it changes the momentum a little bit with a new goalie in. So it looks like that's
Megan Burke fighting in the back. Loses her footing in there. Foxborough will have the indirect kick. Medfield not happy about that. They were going for the ball. I couldn't really see Mark, so I couldn't tell from where I was.
That what I thought was number 3, I believe it's number 2, and that's going to be Sophia Gustafson. She's going to be someone you got to be careful with, I think. She's been very aggressive coming up on the offensive side.
She is, and you're right, and she's got great speed from what we've seen so far.
She's a captain, too.
So here goes the ball's coming in. Looks like it's offside. It looks like it was an offside call.
I think so.
It looks like it was. So it's a big deal if their goalie isn't able to come back. When you have a full-time. So Foxborough has two goalies, and Jamie has seen a decent enough action this season to come in no problem. Now, if this girl looks like she just threw a penny on.
Right.
That's tough. That's tough for someone to come in and make that adjustment. So let's see.
Yeah, because she probably didn't take any warm-ups because you have the starting goalie taking all the warm-ups.
The nerves are there because she's jumping into a tight game where both teams are pushing. The ball is free.
Oh! Jordan with a beautiful pass
Great
over to
try.
Kendra. I think Kendra was falling down, and she just, because she was leaning back, it's just like all she needed to do was tap it. But that was a tough play. Kendra was falling back.
This goes back to the Jordan where Jordan maintained her composure and got a nice soft touch. I think this is you coming in full steam.
And look at that bounce. It takes a weird bounce.
And just coming in a little too hard on it. But
she just got under it.
But great effort. I mean, that's a tough shot, and that's tough, and that speed to come in.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Oh. Jordan.
Oh, that's great,
Carmen.
clear ball. Come on, this is a foot race. Jordan Collins. This is where Jordan excels, and Lizzie Davis coming up as well. And Medfield able to come back on defense and stop a breakaway. That is a great defensive play by Medfield.
Gets the ball over to Lizzie
Davis dropping it into the middle. Kendra Welling again. Just clear over the net. She's having a little trouble with those balls bouncing.
I think what Kendall's got to think there is instead of getting underneath, they've got to try to hit the top of it.
Settle the ball. I think, if you get 2 of those markets, now you try to settle it, right?
Yeah, that was a tough one because the defender was right on
hopping, right, absolutely.
But it's like she's got to try to hit the top of the ball as opposed to getting underneath it that close to the net.
And one of the things with that is you lose possession, though, pumping it out. So sometimes it is, when you have the defender on, you're still going to do that 2-touch, try to stop the ball, settle it, and then even if you can't get the shot off, you hope your teammates are there to keep the ball forward.
Jordan Carmen, good defense there. But Gustafson coming up. Oh, good job by Caitlin.
Bridget
McGee. Yeah, Gustafson, she keeps putting her hands up because that was definitely Medfield off of Medfield. No question about that one.
I think the Medfield player thought it was already out when she put her foot on it, and that's why she seemed like a little frustrated. Now what do we have here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw a whistle, but I'm not quite sure what it was. It looks like it's going to be a Foxborough ball.
One of our camera operators, Ellen Burke, saying it was a shove.
It was a shove. Nothing gets by Ellen Burke.
Ellen, I'll tell you. That's why we have her up here. Eagle eyes over here. She's knowing exactly. Yes, this is Medfield, Ellen. No, I'm just. I think,
All right,
Not
Lizzie
Franklin.
Davis taking the indirect kick. Foxborough's 45. Great kick. You can see the power in Lizzie. That's where Lizzie's kick really, it shows the power she has.
Unfortunately, though, you would have liked to see it a little bit more into the middle of the field. That thing had a nice little curve on it.
With the wet turf.
Looked like one of my drives off the tee a little bit.
I have a hook, I slice.
Yeah, I do both. I never hit it in the middle, put it that way. Lizzie with a header. Gets it over to Medfield, tries to hit it back.
Kayla Walker squaring up. Looked like get away with the handball, but they did call it. Okay. Yep.
So we get just under 6 minutes left in the first half. Again, Foxborough with 1-0 lead. Medfield, though, continuing to attack. Good job by JoJo. Liz trying to get the ball over to Caitlin Malika. Caitlin brings it in the middle.
Ball to the middle to Kaylee McCabe. Up to Jordan. And we go to Jordan up the front, looking to push it outside to Kendra Wentling. And Kendra sliding in, and let's see what they call on it.
It looks
They're
like
calling a corner.
Oh, that's surprising.
They're calling a corner. It was hard. From here, it did look like it was out on Kendra, but.
So here's where now, you're going to see Liz and Jordan crashing. Liz usually can get some height on here for the header.
And with Caitlin Walga's kicks have been amazing.
Kicks.
Dropping them in front of that net 90% of the time. Another great kick. Medfield was able to get to it first and clear it out. Those are the 50-50s we talk about, Mark.
Jordan and Liz have to talk a little bit better there because they both were going for the ball. And I think that, one of them should be there. The other one should kind of get out a little bit.
Shield,
but they need
shield
to
the goalie or play the post, something of that nature. So Foxborough taking their time setting up. Kaylee McCabe works around, takes the shot, and saved by
good shot there.
First save by the backup goalie. Again, I forget. I probably don't have her name in front of us because we're not sure what number came out.
It could be Izzy Brown, I think, but we'll see. We'll probably check during halftime when they take the penny off. Liz gets by the defender, staying on her.
Pushing it outside and defender. Oh,
nice
great
job by Liz to get the ball.
Great job. But, again, all white shirts in the middle, Mark. We seem to be a little out of place.
Kayla with a good shot,
Malika
though.
with a great shot.
Oh, the goalie just gets the hands on it.
It's going to be a corner kick. Goalie just saved, but that's what we need to be in for the rebounds. Foxborough needs to get in, but that
I got to give it. Liz did a great job. That defender was trying to hold it. Lizzie fought it, got it back to Caitlin.
So Kayla Malika able to get her left foot on that ball. And just a great placement shot.
Great shot.
Hey, great for that goalie, though, to get in there and
Caitlin with a corner.
Save. Another corner coming
Liz
in.
with a header.
Liz's header over the net.
A little too much. But, yeah, you're right, Mike. I mean, it's just she did a great job. The goalie did a good job. A little bit higher, that was in. It was a great shot by Caitlin. Great save by the goalie. And then it just went a little wide. And
that's where a goalie without the same experience, Mike. Their goalie was a little far out from the net for that one. But she did get her fingertips on it. Had she been back another foot or two closer to the goal, then it would have probably been a lot easier of a save. And those are the things Foxborough has to hope for their advantage. So Jordan Collins fighting on the one-on-one. Let's look for a teammate. And we've got just a sea of white shirts back on defense. The outside Megan Burke fighting for the ball, and it's a real battle we have going on over there.
It should be Foxborough ball.
Well, let's see, but they're
giving it Medfield.
Going to Medfield.
Wow. Looked like Meg got the ball off of number 22, Brenna Scarry. But again, Medfield continues to attack.
They really are. They're
keeping
staying
Foxborough
aggressive.
out of our rhythm here. That should be Foxborough ball.
We're going to need stronger positioning up front if we're going to score. If they're bringing 6 back and we have 2 and 3 up front, they're going to need it. Foxborough will need to counter to get more shots off on net.
Yeah, because now we get 2 girls up while they got 4 back.
Yeah, they seem to have, in that regard, they're playing less players up. It's definitely, their pace is slowed, Mark. And I think it's hard when you do that and you're keeping 2 back. Basically what you're doing is you're asking the rest of the girls to run the field.
Right.
Because they're keeping, like, for instance, right, they have 1 striker up top, number 2. rest of the team's back. That's a lot of field to cover.
Oh, I don't get that call.
What happened? Oh, wait a minute.
The refs are going to.
What are they calling here?
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought that was
couldn't really
off
tell
of
what that
midfield.
was. A little chip shot to the middle.
Liz gets it
Medfield's
lefty
able
to
get to
Jordan.
it. Jordan Collins up on the right trying to fight for possession.
That should be Foxborough
It
ball.
looked like Foxborough from here. Let's see. Yep, no, they're calling Medfield, though.
Jeez. My eyes, I know, as a 50-year-old, aren't as good as they used to be, but, maybe it's the angle that I'm sitting at. So so the clock's at 2 minutes, so we get just under probably 2 minutes left in the first half. Medfield moving the ball down. Looks like they took Kendra and Lizzie.
It's the battle we thought, though, it would be, Mark. Both teams fighting back and forth. And
you want to keep the ball down here in Medfield's part of the field with about 2 minutes left in the half.
It'd be interesting to see what adjustments, if any, are made at halftime by either team to try to counter. Foxborough's their defense has been challenged quite a bit today. Through the season we've seen it, but not like it has been today. They're still not getting the shots off on net, Mark, but they're definitely penetrating on the wings on Foxborough a bit, and we've seen Yara actually get beat out in the middle a few times, which you don't see a lot. So that's to Medfield's credit.
So now they're getting a kick, an indirect, about midfield, 45-yard line.
So we see here, now we see, Mark, they're keeping 4 defenders back. The Medfield girls are starting to walk on the field a little more. The pace has caught up a little bit. They're still playing hard and tough, but they're not able to maintain the pace they had. There's a shot from
Morgan with a great save.
From about the 35-yard line, right at Morgan Sylvester's able to easily save that.
See, get a nice big kick here, get it out of harm's way.
So now we have Alyssa Vanderboom up top, and I can't see who's on the far over there.
It's still Kendra.
It's still Kendra Wentling. Okay. So Lizzie Davis switched out for Alyssa Vanderboom up top. So now we have it's 4 defenders, and we have Jordan Collins and Vanderboom.
It can't be more than maybe 35, 40 seconds left before the half. I'm assuming. We've been at 2 minutes for a little bit. I looked at my watch. It was 3:16. Now it's 3:18. You can hear Nancy.
I think she'd like them to play to the whistle. Always good advice. So let's see. Medfield kick to the middle of the field.
Just get it out of there.
They're trying to clear. That's the half. No, that's the half.
Yeah, so I think she knew that. And number 13 or 17.
Well, great half so far, Mark. What an effort by both teams. Medfield coming out strong and fast. Their pace slowed, but they were still staying on the ball and really still challenging this Foxborough defense today. Foxborough's they've had a lot more shots on net and have really been attacking at the net. They just seem to be struggling in the middle of the field a little bit today.
Yeah, and we'll see, what kind of adjustments that both teams make at halftime. I think Medfield, I think their coach, Michael LaFrancesca, he's probably sitting there saying, girls, keep attacking. We're going to get some play here. We're getting some shots there. And Coach Stahlcup is probably saying to our girls, listen, keep fighting, keep going. Get that ball up in the middle. The defense, continue to clear the ball out when you can. It's been a great first half. 1-0 Foxborough. So we'll be back shortly with second half action here at the Sam Burns Community Field at Foxborough High School. So we'll be back momentarily. All right, well, welcome back for the second half here at the Sam Burns Community Field. Foxborough Warriors with a 1-0 lead over Medfield Warriors. Mike, as we talked about before the break, both teams showing great aggressiveness in that first half. Foxborough got the goal. Jordan Collins with a beautiful left-footed shot from the assist from Kaylee and Liz with the header. But Medfield continues to press, and I think we're going to see the same thing. The goalie, number 15, who was hurt in the first half, Izzy Brown, who's a sophomore, she looks like she's back in here for the second half. So that's good to see that she wasn't hurt too bad there in the first half. Yeah,
you don't want to see anybody. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple injuries this season, and thankfully she's able to come back into the game. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments were made at the half. It was a great first half. Both teams were in this the whole way, and Foxborough was able to capitalize for one goal, and Medfield certainly had their opportunities. So there's a whole 35 more minutes, or 40 minutes here to play, and should be an exciting second half coming in.
Yeah, Foxborough starts with the ball in the second half.
Looks like they're going with the 3-4-3 Medfield, so they're playing 3 back, which is kind of what they did in the beginning, which is it's an aggressive way to play, and they're looking for that goal, so good for them. Foxborough is maintaining their 4-4-2. Taking it slow, controlling the possession, pushing the ball up. And Keelan McCabe looking for the pass, but didn't get her foot on it enough. Medfield pushes it down to Morgan. Not really a shot, but Morgan, so that's the goalie, is able to pick it up.
So that was 22, Brenna, scary. So, coming out of the break, right, looks like maybe Medfield already sitting there saying, let's start shooting the ball down a little bit, attack.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's, Foxborough, if you lay back, that's fine, and you can hold off their scoring. But with only playing 2 up in Foxborough's defense, it's the odds of getting that shot in are very difficult. And I'm sure Medfield doesn't want to. Looks like they don't want to play it cautious and go all the way down for a 1-0 final on this. So, and Yara Fawaz fighting in the far corner, trying to get the ball out. Medfield striker giving her all she can handle. They're actually just fighting each other off. Medfield parents like that.
And Kendra gets it in. Kendra came in, yeah. Tried to clear it out and
push it out of bounds. Medfield ball coming back in. And we have Lizzie Davis sitting up at the top of the field, playing striker position, which is a good spot for her. And if we just get position of this ball, here's a 50-50 ball right into Medfield. And Medfield aims possession, popping into the middle.
Good job getting it out. See, that's the other thing. Again, we kind of wait for the ball a little bit instead of going to attack. Medfield went right after the ball. Kendra getting the ball now, trying to get it up, and kind of kicked it out of bounds.
Pushed it out. So Medfield throw in coming back. And a 50-50 ball marking, and Medfield is able to get possession of it. So Caitlin Mollick is actually pushed, and Megan Burke able to push the ball to the middle to Kaylee McCabe. Pass it to the center to Grace Ferguson. The Medfield midi is there and able to take the ball.
Jordan fighting for the ball.
Jordan able to come in, and Medfield player came back in, and
then
they're going to call. It was they were going back and forth, a little pushing, and it looks like Jordan.
They let that go in the first.
Too aggressive.
They were letting that go in the first half, so it'll be interesting to see if they're tightening things up here, or they're still going to continue to let them play. But
I think that's a tough one, Mark, because it's right in the middle of the field. The referee's standing right next to you, and you have to be careful. You have to keep that arm down. Your arms have to stay down. The minute you raise that elbow, and especially in front of the ref, they have to call that.
So again, Medfield starting off the second half, great spacing.
Pushing.
Again, just a call on Foxborough, but Medfield really good with the spacing, getting to all the balls. We're not getting to the balls yet.
They're playing light on defense, which is smart because right now with Jordan Collins is the only one at midfield, and 3-on-1 is I'll take those odds all day. So skipping ball, Morgan Sylvester easily able to scoop it up. Gets the ball out quick to Caitlin Mollica on the right-hand side of the field.
Two girls on
slow. Keeps the pace nice and slow. Getting to the ball, doesn't overplay it. And Medfield's able to get the ball coming out.
Yeah.
So Medfield's on the ball again, Mark. It's to your point. They seem to be getting the 50-50s, and Foxborough seems a little off balance here again. They seem a little out of position, and they're chasing. They started out
this way, right? They started out this way in the first half too. They seem very tentative coming out. It's almost like, they know they've got the 1-0 lead, and they're not being aggressive. They're playing not to lose that 1-0 lead, as opposed to going and trying to attack and get it up to 2 or 3-0.
Right, and they're chasing. They're just chasing the ball as it goes, rather than making plays. And to your point, hopefully they settle down and they start getting in there.
Kendra over to Jordan. Jordan with a nice move.
They're playing Jordan very physical, and it's a good way to it's a good way to play someone with.
Caitlin gets by on the defense,
pushing the corner.
Defense coming back though. Good job by Medfield to get back.
Medfield's D.
But you know what? That was a good rush by Caitlin Mollica. Get the ball down here. Maybe we can get some shots here on the goalie. Test her out. she's been out for a little while because of the injury, so maybe she's gotten a little stiff.
That's a great point, Mark. So let's see. We get it, but she needs to be challenged to find that out. So Medfield doing a great job keeping Foxborough from getting a clean shot. I like Lizzie Davis's positioning. She's sitting at the far post of the goalies, maintaining her onside position, waiting for the opportunity.
Now that should be a corner. Here we go. All right, so here's the opportunity we're looking for.
Corner. But the rain's coming down a little heavier again, Mark.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it a little tougher. But so let's see. So
Caitlin with the kick.
with the kick.
You're going to see Liz come crashing in, and Jordan. Good ball by Caitlin again. Oh!
That was very close. The Medfield defender playing the post almost pushed it in with their body, but was able to keep it out. Yep.
Oh, no.
Again, her hands were up, Mark. That's what the problem. If you watch Yara's hands, they came up. Whether she touched the girl or not, you put those hands up, and that's what the ref sees. And it didn't look like Yara did, but unfortunately, the minute those hands go up, the ref's going to call it. You have to keep those down.
So on that header that went in, did that defender save it or did it bounce off?
It bounced off the post, hit her body. And
here's a replay.
So if you watch,
Lizzie coming in.
She's playing that corner post. Comes in, hits the post, hits her knee, and then comes clear.
Lizzie.
Just a little bit of a hop to the side. So Foxborough pushing against Medfield down into the far right corner. Seems like, Mark, when Foxborough has the advantage, they spend the whole time in the right corner where we can't see.
Right, yeah. Gets the ball, trying to get the ball over to Liz.
Medfield does around, and then Emma Dahl pushed up, was able to keep the ball forward. Lizzie Davis playing the Medfield.
Yeah,
getting a little physical, but appropriately for the ball. So
that's a clean play there.
Absolutely, both, and that's the difference. So Lizzie came in, and the other player lowered his shoulder, so did Lizzie, and they bumped shoulders. That's clean. You can do that. You can use the side of your body. The minute those elbows come up, those arms come up, you can't do that. And I think that's what the ref's been seeing.
Yeah, that's something, maybe the coaches on the Foxborough side will address that with the girls and just say, keep your arms down.
So nice assist over to Lizzie in the middle, up to Jordan.
Good ball to Jordan.
Looking for
Caitlin going on the right side. Caitlin trying to get it to Kaylee. Nice move by Kaylee.
Great job by the defender of Medfield to get there. Kaylee trying to set up her shot and just wasn't quite able to. The Medfield defenders, they've been playing really well, actually, this whole game.
Good action down there in the Medfield
zone.
Great
Great ball by both Caitlin and Jordan.
Yara steps up to clear, but again, we're stepping back, waiting for the ball to come to us.
I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head, Mark. That seems to be what's going on. We're being reactive.
Yeah.
And they can make up for it with their speed and grit, but it would be nice to see them get a little more aggressive on the ball, maybe change the pace.
Yeah, because Medfield definitely is attacking every time.
They're attacking, and they seem to be where they need to be for the ball, and we're Foxborough seems to be chasing to the spot where the ball's going to be.
Right.
So hopefully
Medfield's anticipating. You're right, Mike. They're anticipating where it's going to be, and they get there.
Nice job by Megan Burke trying to get the ball up, but that wet ball is tough to get good solid footing on it. And that's to your point. When that ball's up in the air, it's anyone's ball. And if Medfield's charging it and Foxborough's waiting to see where it comes down, that can make a difference. We're very bunched up again here, Mark.
Yara being held. That looked like a handball there. They got
a call. What's the call coming out?
It should be a handball. Looked like the ball came up, hit her right in the hands. So Yara giving control to Morgan. Morgan lining up the kick, seeing if she can get one deep.
I'm glad they did this. A lot of times Lizzie Davis will come back, but that ball's real deep. You don't want to see.
Yeah, they got Kaylee on the shove.
In the push.
She didn't need to do that one.
No. So Lizzie usually comes back for those, but that one was so deep. I'm glad that they didn't, because if you kick it from the 10, 20, it's great. But if you go that deep in, then you're wearing out a player who you need up front like Lizzie.
All right, so here we go. So they're going to be shooting the ball from. Let's say the refs going to, I think, move it back a little bit. Medfield trying to take every little advantage they can, which is I don't blame them.
Absolutely.
But so they're hitting it from the 35-yard line. This girl's got a big leg, so you got to be careful again with the ball skipping off of the turf.
Foxborough needs to be aggressive and get to this ball. Do not let the white shirts get to it. So it's going right into
Morgan. Great save by Morgan.
Great save by Morgan. Great kick by the
Morgan does a great job
Morgan.
of anticipating that, knowing when to come out for that. She didn't even allow for someone to get in there to try to tip it.
She swallows it up with her body. She just really takes the ball in and doesn't. I think that's been one of the things too, Mark, as we've seen.
Look at the holding.
We've seen we've seen Medfield's goalie struggling, and I think it's because she's trying to use just her hands, and you see Morgan using her whole body. So,
all right, we're just missing our passes just a little bit.
But again, it's playing into just the aggressiveness of Medfield. They're on this ball, and they want it first, and they're getting to it first.
Yeah, they look like they just
another wet ball. It's the one-timer.
They just look like today. Medfield right now looks like they want it more. And Foxborough, not that they're playing poorly, but they just aren't as aggressive as they were. This could be a good opportunity, possibly.
You're right, Mark. They seem a little out of sorts. They all still are playing hard. Both teams.
Lizzie with the header over to Jordan. That should be Medfield ball.
What are they going to call here? Looks like it's going to be a goal kick. But I'm telling you, the speed on this Medfield defense
giving us a corner.
Really, that was a tough one. I couldn't tell.
Let's
see that confirm. Yes, the center ref called the corner.
That's interesting. Okay, so maybe we can get Liz to again little header, get it, angle it down. Caitlin with a beautiful shot up in the middle again. Lizzie with the ball right there. No one in front. The head. No one. The only one there was Jordan.
Again, right. Yep, everyone was back on the 10 mark. Great job by Megan Burke keeping that ball forward, looking for Caitlin Malika. Now that's going to be a throw-in for Foxborough.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't understand why they didn't have more girls in the box there, because it's
I agree. It's a different way of going about it.
The ball came out. It was deflected, and the ball's right there, and we got like two.
They're calling for Medfield.
So here's the replay. We got Lizzie. Lizzie's the only one there.
Right, yeah, and then
here's Jordan.
They start coming
Grace.
in after, but you've got 4 Medfield players to one Foxborough.
Yeah, you got to get the girls in the box, not Yeah, the Foxborough parents not too happy with some of the calls here in the second half. We got just under 28 minutes left here in the second half with Foxborough still a 1-0 lead.
It's getting a little more physical, so you're going to start seeing some more calls. So Medfield staying aggressive on this ball and definitely giving Foxborough all they can handle right now. They're controlling the flow. They've got some nice through balls. And Jordan
Collins coming out. Oh, the defender.
Great defense by number 14.
Oh, I thought Jordan got on the inside of her. That would have been a breakaway for Jordan. A great defensive play.
I'll tell you, Zoe Condon, number 14, she's doing a great job. She's got speed and she knows how to shield. She shielded Jordan right out on
out front.
Ball's up.
The Grace it is! Oh, beautiful play!
Grace Ferguson. Jordan Collins to Grace Ferguson right in front of the goal. Hits the outside corner.
Caitlin Malika started that one off. Great play down here. Caitlin with a great throw into Jordan.
Goal.
Jordan here's a replay here. So Caitlin Malika with a beautiful throw. Medfield's getting back. Jordan gets the ball here, makes a little turn right out in front to get it out front. There's Grace Ferguson right in front. We were just talking about being right in front of the right there.
And that's that throws. I said. Caitlin Malika, she is so quick to set up for those throw-ins, and you catch the other team off guard. It only takes one opportunity to pull that, and that right there was where the advantage came. So it was great job. That's off the Medfield players so they keep it in. Jordan Collins able to grab possession, taking her time, and into the middle, and it's over to the Medfield player.
Going back to that goal again. Again, we were just talking about on the corners, getting people in there. Grace was right in the middle of the box. Mm-hmm. Jordan makes a nice move, gets around her, kicks it in front, and Grace just tips it right back into the far post. It was a beautifully set up play.
Couldn't agree more, Mark. You have to take what the defense is giving you, and if they're playing their D that far back, you need to be right there with them. Onside, but right with that defense, as close as you can, especially in a game like today, where you can get those little short passes on this wet turf. quick shots.
So Liz there trying to set up Jordan going down the left-hand side. Couldn't get it by the defender. Defense from Medfield is doing a really good job today. Stepping up.
They really are. And
they're not letting Jordan and Kaylee and Liz get behind them.
No, yeah, they're controlling the middle. They're controlling the middle of this field really well today. And we usually play 2 in the middle, but again, we seem to be having it's like Kaylee McCabe seems to be back there by herself a lot. And against other teams, that's been okay. But this Medfield team has the players to counteract that. And they've been able to control that middle pretty well today. And that makes a big difference. So just to recap, we're 25 minutes left, second half of first round of playoffs against Foxborough against Medfield. Score is 2-0 Foxborough. It has been a hard-fought game all the way. The rain is still coming down. It's been coming down most of this game, so credit to these girls for just continuing to push and play in a driving rain
Fighting
like this.
These elements.
These goalies and these players. Let's see what the call is here. Looks like it's ball coming in. It must have been a push on Medfield. So Foxborough indirect kick coming out from their end.
So here you go. This is where Liz with the big leg that she has. She's back at the 15-yard line.
I think both teams are starting to look a little tired, Mark.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's definitely wearing on both. There's not a lot of subbing going on here.
No.
Very little. So you've got 80 minutes of running total at the end of this game, and these girls of both teams have been up and down this field.
Great job by Kaylee to get in front of that
Shielded
one.
with their body. Nobody there to answer for Foxborough. A little cut out of well, that's because they're playing the 4-4-2, so we only have 2 up front.
Right. And that second goal, obviously, it's a huge, huge goal. But now, again, you rely on the defense here, but I think you still got to be aggressive. I think you're right, Mark. Not overly aggressive that you're taking chances, but you got to make sure that you're keeping the ball on this end because anything can happen in I said it earlier, the 2-0 lead in any sport is the most dangerous lead, especially in weather like this. You see the ball's been skipping. We want to still have the girls continue to be aggressive.
I'd say it's an opinionated topic, but you leave it in professional sports. But I'm not a fan of laying back because you've got a lead. I think it changes the flow of how you've been playing and where you're going.
Caitlin,
and that's not Foxborough's game.
No, again,
so I'd hate to see them kind of all sit back and just try to control this lead. I'd rather see them keep pushing. Because we've seen in games where Foxborough, when they do that, they can really break the otother team, and that's just as good as stacking your defense up.
So it looks like number 24. I have that down as Bella Gangimi. She originally, I thought she had number 11. Well, Joe Cusack said number 11, but right here they have 11-24, depending on what number she is. So I was thinking that was a white-blue number. Hopefully they didn't. I don't think they changed at halftime. I don't think you can do that.
No, it's maybe they just weren't sure what the number was.
Yeah, she might have just 2 numbers depending on what. I bet you the blue is 11 and the white is probably 24. They probably don't have a white and blue.
So it looks like we got a goal kick coming out.
A few gasps over here by one of our camera operators. No names. But I will say the person who's gasping is doing a phenomenal job with the Booster Club.
Okay, so here we are. We got 4 back in the middle, Lizzie to the far side, and Jordan Collins on the far side. This is what I don't really love to see is you've got both your strikers on the far side of the field, leaving nobody here on the right and in the middle mark. And then your middies are back here. So if this ball comes out, it's coming right back into Foxborough's end.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like to see it balanced more, but easier said from up here.
So definitely, we're starting to hear some of the fans get a little bit loud, a little boisterous here. Yara gets.
This is an elimination playoff, so
you win.
Both teams, you win and
move on.
You don't, and your season's over, and that which plays into a lot of these seniors. This could be their last game, before graduating high school. So it's an emotional game for some of them. See, we have. It looks like we got a substitution coming in for Medfield.
Looks like it's going to be a corner kick.
It's going to be a corner kick for Medfield.
They had a throw in, and Foxborough just kind of kicked the ball out. So now one goes from a throw into a corner kick, which obviously these are always very dangerous. Yeah, looks like number 2, Sophia Gustafson coming out.
See, now if you look to your point, you've got on the
Morgan with a great job.
But I'll tell you, Mark, their Medfield gets in front of the net, and they're crisscrossing and they're creating confusion in there. I kind of like the way they do it, but it wasn't. Morgan Sylvester just cut right through the line and was able to maintain possession of the ball.
Yeah, Morgan does a great job of, like I said earlier, she does a great job of that.
She's definitely one of the more aggressive goalies. See, I don't like this when you pass back to the goalie in weather like this. This is what Medfield just did. Lizzie was offsides.
Yeah, she knew she was going to be.
So when you pass it back to your goalie, I'm not a fan of that in general, for them to just kick it out. But in weather conditions like this, and what we just saw was their goalie
dangerous.
Kept it. It was on the ground. It wasn't a great kick out. And if Foxborough was a little more heads up, they would have.
Liz with a left-handed shot. Oh, wide of the net.
Great attempt, though. That was a good shot.
It's smart play by Liz there to kind of come up. She saw Jordan in the middle, but they had 4 defenders back. She had a shot and hey, take a shot and try to go top shelf.
Absolutely.
That's where the good stuff is, Mike, right?
But it's like what you said earlier, is there was nobody else up. So, take that shot and put it in front of that net.
Yara, steady as can be, gets the ball. And
pushing it up. And
beautiful
Medfield,
shot.
Off the Medfield player. They weren't expecting it to stay in.
Oh, here we go.
So they have a substitution coming in for Foxborough. Ashland coming in for it's Alyssa Vandermoot coming in for Lizzie Davis.
Okay. So we probably get Liz, maybe hopefully get her a couple of minutes of some breath. Alyssa almost gets one down to Jordan.
Great defense. Otherwise, great play by Alyssa Vandermoot trying to get the ball to Jordan Collins, but the Medfield defender is able to just pick it off.
Yeah, like you and I have talked, Mike, before, Liz and Jordan have such a great chemistry together that they work so well together. Yeah, I think, what probably coach is doing, too, is getting Alyssa in here because they'll be here next year.
Yes.
And you want to get that combination in. But, I'm like I said, I'm hoping that, she'll probably take her out for a few minutes just to kind of get some fresh air, catch a break, get Alyssa in who's got those fresh legs, who's an offensive threat herself.
We have 18 and a half minutes left to go in the game. A lot of game left to play, and this rain's still coming down pretty heavy. And Medfield is still playing hard, so this game is not over, folks.
Oh, yeah. Medfield will fight till the very end.
They are right now. Foxborough, even though the ball's gone down to Medfield's end, we're just not keeping it down there. It seems to come right out. So, and as we have 4 Medfield players back to Foxborough, and they're both on the same side.
And to talk about Medfield just for a second, talking about the tenacity and not giving up. I was looking at their schedule. They won 3 of their last 4 games. The one game they did lose, I think it was to Norwood. It was 1-0, and Norwood usually always has a very good soccer program. So their overall record was 9-6-3, but the record is very deceiving. I mean, they're in the Tri-Valley League. They get some good teams there, similar to the Hawk.
Well, that's great
pass by Jordan over Caitlin.
A little too much.
But, it just goes to show that
they've been in these dogfights all year, Mark. If you look, their games are 2-0, 1-0, 2-1. So Medfield's used to dogfights. Foxborough's been they've had some blowouts.
Yeah.
They've beaten teams 13-1, 9-0, 6-0, 6-1. So Medfield's used to this. They know they've got to play the whole game. And as you said, last game, it was a 2-0 game for Medfield, and Foxborough came back and tied it up. So we've seen this happen. So both teams just need to continue to play their game right to the end.
Another corner kick here. So Caitlin, again, always does a good.
We've got Van Den Boom in the net, shielding the goalie. Jordan Collins getting the ball on her foot, and Medfield defenders able to clear it out. Megan Burke going to keep the ball forward. And Medfield player goes down. They're calling it out. That is not a good call.
That's a bad call. The Medfield girl was the one who fell. She's smiling too.
They got one there. She
knows.
Megan Burke was just trying to keep the ball. She fell down, and the Medfield defender had her arms on top of Megan. But it happens. Again, as we've talked about, you just have to continue to play.
Yeah, Brenna's scary, number 22, as she was running up the field. She had a big smile on her face. She knew she got away with one there.
Hey, it happens. Happens both ways, so.
Here we go.
Let's look at this again. So Megan Burke, ball's coming. She's looking to get control. She shields it. The other player goes down and pulls Megan down, and she gets the call. That was definitely one that the ref missed.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does.
Can't dwell and just move on. So let's see.
They don't have windshield wipers, so maybe the rain got in his eyes.
I'll tell you what, this game, they've done a good job of really slowing down the trio of Jordan, Caitlin, and Kaylee. They've kept them on their toes, and they're really not giving them a lot of space on the field. So it's been, you have other players, Grace Ferguson, Lizzie Davis. They've really been coming through and and picking up the slack, and that's something you need to see. You need a complete team, especially in these playoffs and these teams you're going to face.
So Ashlyn Cervase just came in.
So that was out.
Yeah, Ashlyn Cervase came in, and I think who else did they say? Oh, Jordan Carmen. So JoJo came in. I think they brought out Kendra and Grace. So, again, hopefully giving them just a little bit of a blow here. We got 15 and a half minutes left.
Nice ball popped out by the Medfield midi, but there was no one there to capitalize.
Yeah, 15 and a half left with the Foxborough with the 2-0 lead.
It seems a little bit, and I don't know if it's by design. So this year, Caroline Cass, who's been phenomenal on the outside, she's out with a concussion. So they have first-year varsity player Bridget McGee, very tough, very physical player, and they seem to be attacking over there. And they're Bridget's holding her ground, but they're definitely putting a lot of pressure on her on that side.
You know, and the other thing too, they probably, you know, again, most girls more strong on their right foot, so they're probably attacking on the right-hand side of the field. So staying on that side, but they, you know, Medfield, like you said earlier, Mike, they do a good job of using the whole field, changing direction, getting the ball around, setting up their triangles, and just moving the ball around.
So Alyssa Vandenboom pushing the ball up, and again, we don't have anyone on the right here to capitalize. Caitlin Malga trying to come up, but she's playing the outside mid, so that's really not her spot. She's trying to come up and keep the ball forward.
I think you know, Jordan's probably going to need a blow soon. I don't think she sat out at all in the first half.
She's definitely looking a little tired. She's her, Kaylee and Caitlin have been on the whole time, and defense you can kind of keep someone on long. It's definitely takes it's a little more wearsome on
the offense.
On the offense, because they have to move up, down the field, up, down, especially in the middies. The middies that's the most run.
Yeah.
So Foxborough is going to have an indirect kick coming out of their end on a Medfield push.
Yeah, what I'm hoping to see, if they do take Jordan out, you know, maybe that's why you have Liz kind of getting her breath, bring her in for Jordan.
She could be right, and that's a good play. So Jordan, again, there goes the arm. Did you see the arm that time? So that's what you can't do. That's what you have to watch. The minute that arm comes up, that's all the ref ends up seeing. And that's just what they've been trained to look for. So another great strike by the Medfield player here. And then Megan Burke controlling it with the chest and using her body to bring the ball down. And Yara's having a little trouble getting her foot on today with this wet ball. It looks like the rain's kind of easing off on us now here. But the light's changing. You know, it's just probably a little tough out there for their eyes to adjust.
Yeah, right. With the lights on.
We get the lights on, and we're kind of at that where it seems like the weather might be lifting a bit.
Yeah, you know, getting close to 4 o'clock here. So with daylight savings time or whatever, it's it's going to get a little dark a little bit earlier. So all right,
timeout blue. So all right, Foxborough calling a timeout.
So I think that's
we have almost 13 minutes left to play in the game. Foxborough's up 2-0. Timeout Foxborough.
I think that's a good job there by Coach Stalkup. I think she's looking at this and saying, okay, girls getting a little tired. We have the 2-0 lead. Medfield's got the ball, going to be bringing it in. Give them a rest, maybe get them some water, make sure that they kind of hydrate a little bit, and then talk over, okay, we've got 13 minutes left, girls. Stay aggressive. But that ball gets back there. Get it out.
Might not be bad to remind them that they've been in this position on both ways.
Right.
They were winning 2-0, and you and I had this conversation off because I had it backwards. They were up 2-0 against Milford. Correct?
Milford, yes.
And Milford came back and tied it, and then they were down 2-0 against Medfield, and they came back and tied it against them. So, and I believe it was the last 10 minutes for both of those games.
Right.
So there's a lot of game left here, and Foxborough, I think it's a well-timed, well-called timeout. I think Foxborough looks a little bit like they're chasing, like you had said, like Jordan's looking a little tired up front. And Medfield still continues to control the middle of the field quite a bit, but they're just not. They're still having trouble fully penetrating that Foxborough defense.
Yeah. I'd say probably maybe I don't know, within the next 4 to 5 minutes, you might see Kaylee, Kendra, and Lizzie coming back in. I think it depends, too, what Medfield does here pressure-wise, but I think you'll probably see those 3 come in probably soon. I'd be surprised if they don't.
With those 3, even though when they do get tired, their mistakes are minimal. They know to stay square. They keep the ball in front. They push it. So to your point, it'll be interesting to see what's the point where the coach says, "Hey, I got to give them a break," and maybe they check in on that in that timeout.
And what's the refs talking to the 2 coaches? But and the other point too is, when does Medfield say, okay, we got to start bringing all of the girls up? and start taking chances. I mean, it's
Still-
early for
still
that.
too early.
13 minutes,
I
but I
think
mean,
it's still, but you're
get
right.
you get to about 5 minutes when the clock
This
stops
is
and
playoffs.
freezes.
Yeah, I think, and for me, the year that I coach, if I saw what they were doing, I see one striker from Foxborough, I'd cover with 2 players. I'd keep that push up forward as Medfield. They definitely have the players to do that, and maintain pressure on top of Foxborough. And a two versus 1 on D, even if you're as fast as a Jordan Collins, you could still keep her out.
Yeah, good job by Ashlyn there to get the ball out.
Push the ball out of bounds, coming back, Medfield throw in. So you see some players like Caleb Mollick, a hand on the hip. Those are signs of just a long game,
Right,
a
yeah.
lot of playing. And Caleb Mollick has 1 speed, so that girl, she plays hard. So getting her breasts in where she can, so that's good. And soft kick coming in, and Morgan Sylvester with the save. And let's see if the Medfield player, looks like the Medfield player, a little shaken up, but gets right up.
Yeah, I think she's trying to milk that one too a little bit.
Well,
she stayed down a little bit longer. Just
I think
try
probably
to draw a
frustration.
call.
Probably a little frustration too, Mark. You think you might have a shot at that ball.
Yeah.
And his emotions are
But
in
she
play.
was looking.
And,
She was looking
yeah.
down the field to see, am I going to get that call if
Yeah.
I stay down a little bit? And when there was no whistle, she got up pretty quick because that's the thing. You look at that and say, if they get up slow, okay, maybe. But she got up real quick. I think Ellen
Okay, so
agrees with me.
So we have a Medfield throw-in on the far side.
A thrower.
Oh, it's a kick. Looks like a kick.
That's surprising, David.
And I don't think Foxborough was really ready for it to be a kick either, Mark.
That was handball there. They got a hand. He got that one.
Okay.
Hand in the box, too, for Medfield. So that's good. That clock still ticks right now. We got about just over 11 minutes left. Foxborough still with a 2-0 lead.
They need to maintain the pace, though. I'm with you on this one. Medfield certainly is keeping their pressure up. So Medfield has gone to the two defenders back. Looks like they're stacking up the midfield and pushing.
Yep.
Kaylee McKay pushing it to the left. Looks like the Medfield player is going to get there first.
Jordan with a good job.
Jordan able to keep the ball forward. And it's a foot race. Now, this is number 14. Let's see what she does here, because Jordan Collins, number 14, has played this really well. She is number 14 for Medfield. Bella Gangini. She has probably stopped about 5 breakaways for Jordan Collins, and that is no easy task, especially against Jordan.
And we talked about it, though, Mike. I think that because, most times during the year, no way anyone gets to Jordan. But because she's been out for so long, she probably doesn't have that extra gear that she needs to get to.
Could be, but if you watch this 14,
she's done well.
She blocks, she puts her body, and she has speed to match.
She does
too. So it's been. But you're right. It's
that fatigue
and the frustration
factor.
sets in,
Yeah.
right? So fatigue, frustration, and you stop that last push you would have done earlier. So that's common in the games, right?
So it looks like Kendra and Lizzie might be coming in.
But I think what you have here is just 2 complete teams just battling it out. It's really
been a great
makes
match.
for great soccer. It does. As was their first meetup this season was a great match as well. And if I remember, Foxborough kind of stole that tie. They felt like they won at the end because Medfield really played a hard game that first game.
And we mentioned it at the beginning of the game. They played in the first round last year as well. 1-0, Foxborough ended up with the win.
Yep.
And I remember that battle. It was a battle there, too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Medfield, despite having a number 13 ranking, I mean, they definitely deserve to be here.
They play hard. They every game. They're a tough team that definitely wants it.
Keeps trying to get
They're
that ball
pushing it
into
to the middle. Again, they're controlling this middle, Mark. This has been the strength for them today, is they've controlled that middle of the field. And their defense has done a great job, regardless that there were 2 goals. But so Lizzie Davis coming back in.
Ashlyn and Alyssa.
Kendra? Okay.
Yeah, it's Kendra.
Yeah,
Kendra and Lizzie coming in. I noticed by the cleats.
Okay,
You got 9 minutes
break.
left.
So good break, a little spark. 2 physical players.
Yeah,
It has become more of a physical game coming into this second half here. So we get that one.
Medfield, I think, went underneath there on Jordan Carmen, JoJo. It's a good header by JoJo there, too. She had some good height there. So we get Lizzie, now that she's back in, the leg.
See, now, I like her taking the kick here from the 30 because you're not running as much. You can get back up and down, but to kick out of the goalie box is a little much. So great foot.
30 to 30.
But the 50-50 ball marking we didn't get it. And then the ball's right back down at Foxborough's end. That's something when you're being reactive. that can come back and hurt you. So, again, Medfield maintains control of the middle of this field.
Yeah, a lot of space over there.
Yeah,
like I said,
there
Medfield's
really is.
there.
There's a lot of space. We seem to be getting caught out of position quite a bit in the middle.
Morgan with a nice kick. Gets it to Liz, trying to control it.
Nice ball. Liz Davis over Caitlin Malika taking her
Jordan's
time.
offside.
Yep. Soft by about 2 steps
Yeah,
there.
she definitely was. She definitely was. I saw her from here.
Yeah, that was clearly
but
offside.
I'll tell you, if she stayed on side, she had it.
Yep.
Although 14's back there again.
Yeah,
so,
well, that's what
24.
Well, that's why she looked like she had it because she was ahead of the other player.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about offsides, right? So JoJo pushing the ball up to Lizzie, but the Medfield defender was there to able to take the pass.
Nice ball there. Gets it out wide, but I was going to say going to be a little
good
too.
hustle, easy grab from Morgan Sylvester.
It looked like that.
Looks like it was out of bounds. Looks like they're pulling it back over.
Yeah, the ref was right there on that one. So JoJo with the throw in, looking to try to get it in to. But again, Medfield
all
right
over
up.
it. No blue shirts.
Kaylee trying to settle the
McCabe
ball down.
trying to work the middle, and Medfield's able to push it back. Kaylee keeps with the ball and gets it. And
Medfield steps right up to
takes it from Caitlin Malika. So, again,
we're
to
waiting.
our point, yeah, Medfield is just attacking that ball.
Yeah, we've been doing that a lot this year, that we wait for the ball to get on our foot as opposed to going to get it and then making the turn and making the play.
And I guess contrary to us, Mark, they've managed to get a number 4 seed and get this far in.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they're on to something. It's just from when you're up here looking and you see the.
Oh, Liz gets one
there
by.
Liz Davis
there she
pushing
goes.
Through. It's a foot race. Let's
Number
see.
17 getting out on her.
Liz
Just a little too far.
Little too much.
Good play
Ball
by.
needs to stay forward, and now here again where we've one kick and that ball's all the way back down to Foxborough. So Bridget McGee looks like she's being kind of pushed back a little, but
that was a good job by the defender there, Liz.
so
she
now
was
what's
riding.
going on here? The ball looks like we're not ready.
Defensively.
All right, yeah, looks like we were caught off guard a little defensively. I think they thought it was a throw-in, and the ball was still alive. So we got Kendra up on the left looking to cross, and Medfield defenders there able to pick off the through ball.
Medfield still controlling the ball and
They
still
really
pushing
are.
the ball into our zone.
5.5 minutes left on the clock, and Medfield is right now they're controlling the flow of this, Mark. They're controlling the flow of this game right now. And that's the thing is Foxborough, one goal makes this a game. So the Foxborough really has to be until we get a corner
kick here.
We have a corner kick.
So the Foxborough parents not happy with the refereeing tonight.
That's a tough call too because refs are both on the far sides of the field. So
those are the kind of calls that I think late in the game, in a playoff game, you don't make something like that. You let them play a little bit.
They went out. They just timeout. It looks like it was Medfield.
Yeah. Which makes sense, take
So
a
5
timeout.
minutes. 5 minutes left on the clock. I believe it's a Medfield timeout. Foxborough up 2-0. And again, both of these teams very capable of getting to that net. So this game is not over. Foxborough right now, I'd say Medfield's controlling the flow of this game, and Foxborough needs to really up their pressure and get to these balls and keep that ball out. All right, so let's see what we had here.
So here's a replay, I think, on Liz when she got by the defender. I can't see if that's number 17 who gets back.
So she's looking. She gets a breakaway in 14, covering the middle, letting the outside the player play it, and then see how she cuts off Lizzie's lane.
Yeah.
She doesn't cut off the ball. She that's what she's been doing to Jordan. She's smart because as a defender, the ball gets by, but you get between the player and the ball.
Yeah, see, and I think when Liz kicked at that last one, they got a little too far out because the defensive pressure was on her hip. I think if Liz had a step on her, she's not kicking it as far, and then she would have released a shot. But it was good defensive play to stay on her hip, and then the goalie came out to make the play. All right, so we're waiting for Foxborough to get back onto the field. I don't know. The coaches are saying something. I don't know what the coaches are saying. Our coaches.
What's going on here? Yeah. All right, telling them there's still plenty of time left, and they need to step it up.
Yeah, we got 5:04 left in the game. Foxborough with a 2-0 lead. And Foxborough coming back to set up. Morgan getting back into net. So it'll be interesting to see. Medfield obviously have set up a play to see if they can sit here and crash the net. Someone trying to block Morgan right in the goal. She's still trying to block Morgan. Waiting for the ref to get over here, I think.
Water break.
Yeah.
So Medfield has 10 goals against on the season, points against mark. That's impressive, and that it shows with their D. And you can see what Morgan Sylvester
with
coming
a great
out.
save.
Great save. Where's the blue shirts? Good to get that out. Medfield keeping the ball forward, though. Again, Yara Fawaz having trouble getting her foot on the ball tonight. Normally she's got just such a great kick and clearing it, and she's been struggling to clear it a little tonight. Medfield is just attacking this ball, attacking. Another easy save for Morgan Sylvester. Taking her time, that's good. Eat some time off this clock. Says Foxborough wants to slow the pace a little bit. That's good. Out to Megan Burke on the right, and Medfield coming on strong. They want this ball back, and they want it back bad. Jordan Collins not able to control the ball and picked off by the Medfield defender.
But JoJo steps up.
And Medfield keeps the ball forward. Well, we
living
got
up.
a push. We got
Again.
a push. It looks like it was on Jordan again.
I don't think he's called that once on Medfield today.
No.
I think they've called.
Let's take a look here. Let's go to see it again. Corner coming in. Morgan Sylvester is able to clear that player out and then get ahead of the ball. Very aggressive play.
Nice
Nicely
job by
done.
JoJo there.
Nicely played. You have a substitution for Medfield on a striker. So Medfield playing one player back. That's a great move. Just you get everybody up front and keep this ball going. We're keeping our players back. Lizzie Davis is staying up top, but not as aggressively as usual. So
Jordan with a nice
ball's
pass.
coming through. Lizzie Davis pushing up on the right. Caitlin Wallaker running with her, matching her for the stride. Caitlin in a foot race with the Medfield defender. Able to get control. They pushed it into the corner.
Hey, that's fine, though, because we keep the ball down in the
corner
Medfield
kick.
zone.
It's a corner kick.
No, I think it's a throw-in.
Oh, I thought I saw okay, he's indicating a Foxborough throw-in.
Just play keep away here. Nice ball by
Great
Lizzie
ball
over
by
to
Lizzie
Caitlin.
to Caitlin.
Trying to
Caitlin
get
looking
out
to clear
front.
it to the middle, and the Medfield defense able to clear it out. Emma Dahl coming up and wasn't able to quite get control.
Oh.
Medfield's another one on Kaylee McCabe. Looks like she got her foot when she was going in. So the Foxborough parents are not happy with some of the calls.
Mm-hmm. That one, I think.
That one looked like it was
I think
a
she got
legit
the leg
call.
up. She got the leg up a little bit.
That was a legit call. That's all right. Let's go. So,
Caitlin with the ball here. JoJo, fresh legs, gets it out there. Goes to Lizzie.
Offsides. Yeah, but Lizzie Davis off by about 2 steps.
Oh. Her
Would've
eyes
been
probably.
clean. Yeah.
Her eyes lit up like a saucer there.
She
was
saw
thinking,
open field and a little too much open field. And now see, there you go, Mark. This player just is pushing on the back of Kaylee McCabe on her legs and no call. You've got to call both ways. Here we go. Jordan Collins on the right-hand side.
Middle.
Again, number 14, matching her stride for stride. Pinning her to the corner. It's going to be a corner kick.
Corner kick. That's all right. The clock keeps ticking here. We got
this number 14 matched her stride for stride, drove her right into the corner to Jordan Collins. That's a great defensive play, and that's why they've got only had 10 goals scored on them.
So we've got probably about 2.5, 3 minutes left in the game. Foxborough with a 2-0 lead.
We have Jordan Collins down in front of the net, and the rest of the Foxborough players are outside of the goalie box. On the move now, crashing in, and Lizzie Davis trying to get her foot on it, and we have a push coming out on Lizzie.
Oh, jeez.
I thought Lizzie was in front of the player, so I'm not quite sure how that was a push, but maybe I missed it.
I think he's got the Medfield T-shirt on underneath that green shirt today. But
wow. I don't know if the game's just picked up pace or it's got more aggressive because the first half it's a lot less calls, but thankfully it's not affecting the game.
No.
It's, they're not going to get everything. It's Foxborough really, they've got to maintain their intensity here and actually pick it up a little. I mean, the clock's ticking. I don't know what we have for time left, but they stopped the clock at 5, so my guess is, Mark, we're under 3, closer to 2.
We got about 2 minutes. I was looking at my watch. Probably even less than that.
Another easy grab for Morgan Sylvester coming down in the goalie box.
Yeah, we got about a minute and a half according to Ellen's watch.
Morgan Sylvester did a nice job of slowing it down, but again, 50-50 ball, and Medfield gets to it. Ball's coming right back into Foxborough's end.
But
now it's Foxborough throwing ball out of bounds. But those are the things they'll need to tighten up if they do pull this victory, Mark, and move on into playoffs.
Well, speaking of that, I know the winner of this game will be playing the winner of the Dartmouth-Dennis Yarmouth game that's going on today. Dartmouth is ranked number 5. Dennis Yarmouth is ranked number 12. According to the MIAA website, the game will be Thursday. Don't know time.
Is that a neutral site game?
I don't know. It's a TBD. So
Kaylee McCabe pushing the ball to midfield. Lizzie Davis controlling it. Jordan Collins staying on side, being careful this time to stay on. You got Kaylee McCabe on the right. Jordan Collins on the left. Slowing it down. There you go, maintaining possession. This is what Foxborough had been missing, so it's been nice to see them controlling possession and passing back and forth.
Oh,
this is how they need to slow this game up, Mark, and run this clock out.
Yeah, this shouldn't be much.
Starting to look like Foxborough has this one.
Yep. So Thursday, November 7th, like I said, I think the place is TBD.
Oh.
And but it will be the winner.
Medfield player had her legs taken right out from under. But okay, thankfully okay, right up. Right.
Yeah. Cool. And that's the game.
That is the official game, ladies and gentlemen. Foxborough High School has won 2-0 here against Medfield in a hard-fought game. Medfield gave it everything they had, and at points really controlled this game. But as Foxborough has done all season, they've been able to pull it out and really get the opportunities where they needed them. So it was really an enjoyable game to watch. Tough to see a team like Medfield with as much heart and as much determination as they had not get the win, but also nice to see our Foxborough Warriors pull the win and head on to the next round.
Yeah, Foxborough, they've really been coming on strong here at the end of the year. We were on a 6-game winning streak heading into today, make it 7 now. So, we saw some good signs here because Medfield was a very, very good team, but that's what you're going to face. You're going to face very good teams coming forward. I think there's a few things that the coach will probably talk to the girls about to clean up heading into that next matchup versus either Dartmouth or Dennis Yarmouth on Thursday. But you got to be happy with what you saw today. Foxborough played an all-around great game, starting with Morgan Sylvester going to the defense and then into the offense. Each section of the team played well. They played well as a team. It was a hard-fought win against Medfield like they always are, the hard-fought games. And, you got to be proud of these girls. It's been great to watch them all year. And, we're lucky to see them at least for one more game.
Absolutely, and it's great to see them pull off the win. This is a big deal for these girls. It'll be nice to see them in the next game.
Absolutely. So, we don't know, TBD. We don't know if the game will be filmed on Thursday because we don't know the location right now. I think we'll know probably either by late tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning we'll know. So hopefully it's back here at Foxborough High School.
That would be great, obviously. But it would be nice to see as if no word, but hopefully Caroline Cass is okay. Yep. Maybe she's able to come back. Because as a senior, you'd like to see her be able to finish out her season.
Right.
I hate to see as a senior where she isn't able to play through the playoffs.
Absolutely. So, I think best
of luck for her.
Because we're a 4 seed and the it's either a 5 or a 12 that's playing right now. Based off of the seed, if we win, I don't know how the MIA is going to do. I know if you win next round, I think the next game is going to be in Oliver Ames, and I think the finals are going to be in Milford if I remember the schedule correctly. But you might have a game here on Thursday at Foxborough High School. Hopefully we do, and hopefully we can broadcast it for you because we enjoy doing it for you. So we're going to sign off for Mike McCabe. I'm Mark Davis. Thank you again for Foxborough Cable Access.
Thank you all for coming out.
It was a great game, and we're looking forward to hopefully a few more victories. Hopefully bring home the state championship. That would be a great way to end the senior year for some of these girls. So,
really would be.
So have a great night. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye all.